This episode brought to you by Celsius.
You goddamn right.
Wonderful product.
Why don't you make like a tree and get the fuck out of here?
Hard cut.
Yeah. And I'll tell you another great thing about getting rid of titles. It frees you up to buy other titles. Like you can buy you can sell an old out of print Blu-ray and make some money on it and buy a couple others. We've got a whole video coming up. I'll explain some of that. But I sold one title and it paid for two titles that I've been wanting for a long time.
I mean, I got a list of movies, and it's still a pretty substantial list of movies that I will buy stuff like this. You know, and when this came out, this was day one. I was like, man, look at that artwork, look at that packaging. But you know, I kind of see what people say. You buy these stuff for the packaging, and we are collectors. But you buy this, it goes on the shelf. Good example. I took this down off my shelf, whatever, to consider if I'm going to sell it or not. It had a layer of dust across the top. You know, it's just going to sit there on the shelf. And if I'm going to watch this movie, I've already watched it twice. Both times I watched my 4K slip that I got on the shelf behind me here. You know, I almost forgot I even had this. You know, I'm like, this thing's worth good money. There's no reason to have two copies of this movie. I'm only going to watch one copy of it. So I'm trying to just make it where I got one good copy that I can watch whatever I want to watch of stuff like this. But just for example, The Hitcher. The Hitcher's twice as big as this. And I love that release. I'm keeping it. The Hitcher is one of those movies that I like it enough to have a set like this. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
I'm not
sense.
shitting on this movie. I do like this movie. It's just, to me, I don't need that big nice set. A regular 4K slip is good enough. So, I don't know. Like I said, I can definitely see my mindset's changing. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of excited about it. My wallet's kind of excited about it.
Yeah, you know me. I don't do limited editions at all. This is, I think, my last limited edition.
Yeah,
and it ain't going anywhere. But yeah, this release has extra bonus features that the standard doesn't have, so I'm going to hang on to this. Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Does this need? Am I happy with the previous release? Am I okay with the standard release? And I guarantee you that Lost Boys set goes for big money.
It does go for big money.
And that thing can pay, you know, if you're happy enough with the studio release, that thing can pay for a big slate of upcoming releases too.
Yeah, but just to be clear, I'm not getting out of physical media. I'm not trying to sell my whole collection. Because if you look at my eBay store, some people may think that. I got like 200 titles on my eBay store.
It's just a lot.
But it's because I got fucking over 2,000 movies. And I'm just clearing out all the shit. And, you know, there's a lot of good titles on the people like, why are you selling this? Well, it might be because I upgraded. It might be because I have 2 or 3 copies of it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever reason. It might be I'm never going to watch it again. I liked it. I watched it. It was okay. Don't need it.
Well, even if you don't get all your money back, you get some of your money back. I look at it like paying the cost to see the movies. Like that big All the Haunts 2 set. I got that thing in. I was really excited to get that thing in. But I was excited to see those movies. And those movies, a lot of them were first time to disc, you know, whatever. And folk horror is kind of its own thing. You know, a lot of folk horror is going to be a one-time watch, in my opinion. So I got that thing in, paid whatever $180 for it, watched all the movies, and then sold the thing off. And it maybe I broke even. Let's say I broke even. I think I broke close to broke even. Maybe it cost me $10, you know, whatever. I look at it like I paid $10 to see those movies, and on down the road it went. So, you know, I love getting recommendations. That's a big part of why I got dragged into this in the first place. The reason I participated to begin with was the recommendations. So, yeah, that recommendations leads to blind buys, and then sometimes it just doesn't work.
This is the room that I've always wanted to build. I'm 53 years old. I've always wanted a movie room. I always wanted a theater room, so to speak. And I've had 2 or 3 different times where my kids or my buddies would come in this room and they'd be going through my movies. And they would go, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
And I'll be like, well,
Necrophiles.
I've never seen that. Buddy of mine recommended. I ain't watched it yet. What the fuck? You know, what's this?
Is that the $6 Million Man's boss? Why do you have that?
And there was a lot.
Why do you have this?
I want somebody to come in this room and they can pick any movie off that shelf, and I can say I like it because of this. I recommend it. I love it. You probably wouldn't like it, but it's a movie that I know that I'm going to watch.
You may not like it
right now, and I'll watch it with you.
You may not like it. You may be normal. I don't know what to tell you. But, I like it. It's here. It's staying.
Like anybody that's a collector, you want this to be your collection.
Yeah.
And that's all this is. Get down to a fucking nut cutting. That's what this is. I want this to be my collection. Shit that I like, shit that I know that I'm gonna want.
Everybody's got their own thing. You know, it's like I always say, you gotta go to hell your own way, sort of thing.
Right. But right now, everything that's on my shelf right now, about 90% anyway. This isn't including Scream Factory stuff. But most of that I have seen. But everything else on the shelf, I have either seen this release or seen the movie before. This table beside me here, which you can't really see, there's a shitload of stuff on the side here. This is all the blind buys and all the shit that I've never seen before that I pulled off the shelf. And as I watch, I'm selling or putting back on the shelf.